Hey guys, happy Thursday. Here's a picture of someone who sang, um, who would have liked the Dusky Devastators of the Depression. This is Duke Ellington. He was a very famous singer and piano player at that time. And he probably would have been in a band and sang music kind of like how Herman E. Calloway and his guys would have sounded. There's a song, It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing, and I've put this link on the assignment for today, so I'd like you to just kind of listen to it. You don't have to listen to the whole thing, but I'd like for you to kind of get a sound or a feel for the sound of the music. It would have been similar to probably to what Miss Thomas and Hermione Calloway and the Dusky Devastators, the kind of music that they would have played during that time period. Our cues for this lesson is our focusing question, which will go through lesson 16, is how is Bud transformed by his journey? So you want to keep that in the back of your mind as we go through these lessons. How is Bud changed by his journey? And we talked last lesson about how we've seen Bud change from when he was in Amos's shed to where he is now at the band. And then the content framing question, which is like the I can statement for this lesson, is what's happening to Bud in chapters 16 and 17? Our launch question is, how are the events in chapters 16 and 17 different from the others in the novel so far? You probably noticed a bit of a change or a shift in the way it was written and what's happening in chapters 16 and 17 compared to all the other chapters. For one thing, Bud has finally found a home. This is the first time in the book where Bud isn't running away or hunting for somebody. He's finally settled when we get to chapter 16. And chapter 17 is all about music and Bud being carried away by the sounds. I want you to look at the second paragraph on page 202. So I'll read that to you if you don't have your book with you. But I would like for you to look at it later so you can know what I'm talking about. But on page 202, he says, you'd have a real hard time trying to figure out which instrument was your favorite. Until Miss Thomas opened her mouth, while the rest of the band was being a storm, she was the sun, busting through thick gray clouds. When the first thing she sang, you had to wonder why this band was called Herman E. Calloway and the Dusky Devastators of the Depression, or Herman E. Calloway and the Nubian Knights. It should be called Miss Thomas and the Dusky Devastators of the Depression, and I mean old guy on the giant fiddle. So whose performance does Bud seem to appreciate the most, and why? We see that Miss Thomas's voice is his favorite. He thinks she's so good she doesn't have to sing real words. But even wonders why the band isn't named after her. She's obviously his favorite in the band. It uses the word busting. It says, when Miss Thomas opened her mouth while the rest of the band was being a storm, she was the sun busting through thick gray clouds. How does that word busting impact the meaning of the paragraph? Well, it shows a big contrast between her voice and the instrumentalist. We can really, as a reader, we can really see how different the sounds are. And it highlights how she stands out. She's like the sun busting through dark clouds. So how does that impact the tone? When it says she was the sun busting through thick gray clouds, how does that impact the tone of the paragraph? Well, it shows that Miss Thomas's vocal quality brought a hopeful, positive feeling to the song. If we go back to this picture, you can see the sun coming through those gloomy, dark clouds. The sun kind of gives a positive feeling. It kind of gives hope. And that's how Bud compares Miss Thomas's vocal quality. So we finally have made it, guys. Woo! To the end of the book, we're going to finish up chapters 18 and 19. You'll have a quiz over chapters 18 and 19 after you read it. Make sure you read those chapters tonight because tomorrow is your assessment over the whole book. Now, it's set up as 25 multiple choice questions. And you can use your book if you need to flip through. There are some questions about the different band members. So if you want to kind of mark those places with not with highlighters, with bookmarks or something or Post-its. But there's 25 multiple choice questions. So so today, make sure you read chapters 18, 19, finish the book, and take the quiz. And we'll be ready for our test tomorrow, which means on Monday, we'll be starting Out of the Dust, a new book. So I'm really excited about that.